In other words, in each age, energy comes out from its origin, from its source or its origin, and it flows into manifestation in the creative process. Depending on the lens that it flows through, it expresses, it orients in a certain way. The last age that we're leaving had a linear fixation. So energy came down, it diffracted at a certain place, and that diffraction then set up a way that was the prevailing way for things to orient here on planet Earth. And the way I see it is that diffraction set things up in a linear, kind of like white light. White light, the source, the energy, comes through a prism, it diffracts through the prism, and you have a line, a linear line. You have red through purple, the linear color spectrum. The outer color spectrum that people see is the linear diffraction of that white light. In a similar way, the experience of being came in the last age and diffracted, and that diffraction set up a linear diffraction, which had it diffracted into the linear diffraction was the psyche, the emotion, and the body. The ego personality is the linear, from my perspective, is the linear diffraction. So in the last age, when I came to the planet Earth, to me, it's a nice planet. I like it. It's a lovely planet. Yet the experience of identifying, so here on planet Earth, what happens to a lot of people, according to yogis and mystics, is that they set up their reality along a line, right? The past is back there, the future's there, and people orient their attention, their experience on that line. So they're going through life. They go to school. They go get some kind of job or thing to do. Then they go to retire. Then they go. So the process is along this line, and so at any given moment, their attention is diffracted into the body personality on that line, moving from past to present to future. The problem with that for me when I came to planet Earth is the rest of the energy, the totality of energy, just like the white light diffracts, it doesn't have white light on the other side where the linear is. It has the individual colors, which is nice. If you're one of those colors, that can be a nice experience. Yet if your association is oriented towards the white light, you're kind of like, hey, I like the white light. For me, when I came to planet Earth, that was the condition how I experienced it. It was like, this is nice, yet the personality only works on planet Earth. It's great for navigating, from one place to the other, going on a trip, going to, work to get to college or work to get a house or to do this. That's a nice kind of faculty for vehicle for doing things on planet Earth. Yet if you're attracted and drawn to the cosmos and beyond, it's completely not able to assist in that. It's not designed for that. It's a collection of impressions that people orient around from their experience. Everyone take a nice breath in, reset back into neutral, and simply rest and abide here. So again, whatever I'm conveying, take it for what it is, simply a reference. Might be accurate, might not be accurate, doesn't matter. For me, it's accurate in that the reference helps me to orient my attention in a way that I find attractive. It helps me to stay in a state of bliss and in a state of kind of a fullness of being and beingness, a state of being, which to me is where everything is. Everything else is physical, emotional, psychic. All those things, they're not. To me, they're not attractive. They don't last. One moment it's one thing. The body is going through one thing, then it's going through another. The emotions are here, then it's here, then it's here. The things in the brain that are happening. One moment it's this consideration, then it's this. They're moving from one thing to the other. They don't have the condition of sat, of that which lasts. And so, again, I don't place I'm not trying to, those things, everybody who came in the last age, from my perspective, came in through that diffraction, and so they're working through that. And yet, from my perspective, we are in the cusp of a new flow form. Pralaya means the old diffraction lens dissolves. And a flood occurs, not a flood of water, a flood of energy, nonlinear energy flows through to dissolve and in some situations to accelerate, which I'll get to in a moment. It dissolves those different dimensions, those different states, the psychic, what yogis, mystics call the causal or the psychic, the astral, the emotional, the physical, and then the different dimensions that make up those different levels or planes, or however you want to refer to them. And so, from my perspective, that there's a dissolution happening, and in that process, old structures, old things that were organized around those different areas are dissolving. New energy is coming in. People that are welcoming that dissolution, from my perspective, have an easier go of it than people that are not welcoming that dissolution. Hence, welcoming the new season. From my perspective, if people are comfortable, in other words, it's not a good moment to be on planet Earth. From my perspective, if people resist or are not comfortable dissolving things, which is why for years, if you go and look at our videos on YouTube, our trainings and retreats and seminars and our longer retreats and everything is aimed at helping to dissolve. Stillpoint is a technology. Everyone take a nice breath in. Stop at the top. Hold here for a moment. Let the breath keep going, yet you stay here in space between the breath. Stillpoint is a technology. It's a yogic technology designed to dissolve things, whether it's a physical thing, cell memory, an injury, an emotional thing, some issue or thing you've been dealing with that's been going on, that keeps going on. This is a process to consciously welcome and dissolve that thing, a psychic thing, maybe some pattern or program you've been running from the previous age around how you interact with your own experience or with other people or with money or whatever it is, whatever pattern or program. If you have it, then I always say it's like a computer. If you have a computer and you don't understand how to close things, it's not a good situation. If you can open it, you have to understand how to close it. If it gets whatever, you have to understand how to control alt delete or whatever it is to reset it. If you don't understand those things, well, you have to. Same thing with the human condition. If you have the body, and you have to understand how, if you have any kind of thing that's happening that's recurring from a previous linear, right? If it's occurring again from a previous situation, it's a linear trajectory. Karma, to me, all karma is a linear, something that's occurring in a linear diffraction. In other words, if you have a wave and the wave is moving from past to present to future, the previous moment of that wave is determining the inertia of that wave defines the next moment. If it's going up, if it's going down, if that wave's going up and down and moving across a body of water, the previous moment, inertia, defines the next moment. Well, anything you bring with you from your previous moment, physical, cell memory, emotion, belief, judgment, program, whatever it is, if you're bringing it to your next moment, you've just defined your next moment. The inertia is the karma. And again, how do we dissolve that? Again, just simply drop in to Stillpoint.